What you mean you don't know Panna? She's dope. What you mean?
What you mean?
What you mean?
What you mean?
What is poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Dopeaxxpana, and today I'm going to be giving you guys tips on how you can improve or achieve a bomb silk press. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and like this video, and please share it with someone who you think will benefit from some of these tips. The key to a really good silk press is going to be prepping your client's hair correctly prior to applying the heat from the flat iron. And that is why for all of my silk press clients, I offer a shampoo service included in the service price. This is just gonna make sure that I'm working on a fresh canvas and there's no product buildup or residue, because that's gonna affect the movement of your silk press and could potentially burn your client's hair depending on what is already in there. So I wasn't able to record the shampoo service today, but I am going to walk you guys through all the steps that I did, and I will make sure that I link all of the products that I used in the description section for you guys. So I started off by shampooing my client's hair with the Camera Platinum Prime Shampoo. I like this because it's a gentle cleanser, and because she had already washed her hair prior to coming in, I knew I didn't need to use any type of clarifying shampoo. And then I followed up with Defil Vegan Keratin Anti-Frizz Hair Mask. This is going to hydrate my client's hair, and it also helps to fight frizz, and this is a deep conditioner. So whenever I am doing a silk press or applying any large amounts of heat to my client's hair, I do like to make sure that it's super hydrated by doing a deep conditioning service. This will not only help keep your client's hair protected, but it's also going to give it that natural shine that we all want when we are doing a silk press. I always try to tailor my shampoo services to my client's hair needs, and ways that you guys can give the best shampoo service is by doing consultations prior to getting to the shampoo bowl, by asking your clients what type of issues they have with their hair, if they experience hair loss, if they experience damage, thinning, any of those type of things. You can also talk about the porosity of their hair. That will determine whether you need to do a pre-poo treatment or how their hair holds, retains, receives moisture, and that will allow you to choose the best products for them. I never really use the same shampoo and conditioner for every single client because everybody has different hair needs, so we want to make sure that we are tailoring our shampoo services to them. So next is going to be our blow dry, and remember, since we're doing a silk press, we want this to be very lightweight and have a lot of movement, so you're going to minimize the amount of products that you are using on your client's hair. So typically I only use 2 products during my blow dry. That is a heat protectant and a silkening serum, and I have linked both of those in the description section for you guys. I use Silk Elements Olive Oil Heat Protection Spray, and I use Kenra's Silkening Gloss. So for my blow dry, the focus is really going to be to make sure that I get her roots as straight as possible, so that way when I go in and do my heat, I'm able to use one pass to get her hair silky straight. So I am using a Denman brush, and I'm using the Babyliss Pro Ferrari blow dryer. I like this blow dryer because it's super powerful and it gets pretty hot, but not like too hot. And I love the tension that I get using the Denman brush, so I really like to use that. Using a brush and like a concentrated nozzle to blow dry does take a little bit longer than if you were to use a pick attachment, but you literally need that tension in order to get your client's natural hair straight, and so that's why I prefer to do this over using a pick attachment, which, you know, typically would be a lot quicker. So notice that as I'm blow drying, I'm always holding my blow dryer facing downward, and that's super important. We want to make sure that we are properly closing the cuticle and blow drying the hair in the direction that we want it to lay. By doing both of those, you guys will make sure that you reduce the amount of frizz you get and that your client's hair will lay nice and flat. So since my client wanted a middle part, I went ahead and parted that out, and I'm going to blow dry her hair to reflect that part. If she wanted a side part, then I would part the side part out now and go ahead and blow dry it in the direction of the side part. So the only time that I would go in and do a trim on a blow dry before applying flat iron heat would be if my client's ends were super damaged and I didn't think that I could get them straight with a flat iron. But my client's hair is actually really healthy. Her mom is also a cosmetologist, so she does trim her hair regularly, so that wasn't really going to be an issue for us. So I am going to give her a trim, but it's going to be after we do the entire silk press. So I parted my client's hair into 4 different sections. I feel like this is such a great technique because it's not overwhelming and you're really able to focus on each section at a time. The best comb I have found for silk presses is this Cricut silkening comb because the teeth are really, really fine and it helps you to distribute the heat evenly and also get the tension that you need so that you guys can get a bomb silk press. So before I do each section, I do go in with the hot comb and kind of just go all the way around the edges. That way I don't have to do it with my flat iron because y'all, that is literally how you burn people and don't nobody like to be burned. So both my flat iron and my hot comb are turned up to the highest setting, which is 450. And I just want to be very clear that not everyone's hair requires this much heat. And just because you use this much heat does not mean that your client will instantly get heat damage. But your hair is more susceptible to damage at temperatures of 350 or higher. So you just really want to make sure that you are using one pass and you are protecting your client's hair prior to applying this much heat on it. Like I said, that does start at the shampoo bowl and in your blow dry service. And just to be safe, you can always apply more heat protectant prior to applying the flat iron heat. You just want to make sure when you're doing that, you're using a heat protectant that is not going to leave any type of oil or residue. If I want to apply extra heat protectant, I typically like to use Paul Mitchell hot off the press because it doesn't leave behind any type of residue even when you use a lot of it. So you guys can see that I am getting my client's hair straight with one pass of the flat iron, and it has an amazing, nice, and beautiful shine to it with a lot of movement. So in a second, I am going to show you guys a slow-mo clip because y'all, her hair is doing its thing right now. It looks so bomb, so healthy, so beautiful. So the flat iron that I'm using today is the Babyliss Pro Prima Titanium flat iron, and it is 1 inch, and I believe that it's about $60 at Sally's. I'll make sure I leave a link for you guys in the description section. This is actually my backup flat iron, so it would not be like my first choice, but it's doing its thing. It's doing a great job. I typically use the Babyliss Pro Nano 3000, which is the blue and silver flat iron, but I recently did a wedding and left it there, so I've just been thugging it out with this one, and it's been doing a pretty good job. When it comes to flat irons, the Babyliss brand is really, honestly, my favorite brand of flat irons to use. I love the titanium plates. They heat up really quick and they just make your client's hair a lot more smooth. They fight frizz, all that good stuff. I have used a ceramic flat iron before, and I feel like it's just a little bit harder on the hair when I'm passing my flat iron down. And it does get really straight, but I just feel like the titanium plates are super smooth, and this flat iron also heats up on the outside as well. It's perfect for clients who want their hair curled right after or at the end of the service. So just like the products, all of the tools that I'm using, I'll also make sure I list them in the description section for you guys as well. So my client's hair here is probably like a medium density, but if you are working on clients with thicker hair, you want to make sure that you are taking smaller sections. If your section is too thick, then it will make your roots of your silk press be puffy, and we don't want that. So typically I make sure that I take really, really small sections. Like I said, it does take longer, but you're going to guarantee that your silk press is silking. Okay, you guys see the nice movement. There's a lot of shine to this, and my client's hair looks super healthy. She's gonna need a small trim, but really not too much, more just like evening her hair out. So you want to make sure when you are parting in the 4 sections, make sure that you don't cheat that little middle section. When you are using your hot comb, make sure that you're getting all the way in the middle where those 2 sections meet. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but you just want to make sure you don't cheat that out. So I am going to let you guys watch me complete this last section of my client's hair, and then we are going to get into her trim. So sometimes you'll see me double tap my flat iron at the root of my client's hair. Sometimes I'll also go in with the hot comb. When I am double tapping at the root, it's a very quick motion, and it's just me trying to get as close to the scalp as possible without actually touching it with the plates, because obviously that would burn my clients. And if I go in with the hot comb at the root, it's because I've taken a section that is bigger, and I need to be able to get that root straight, and I won't be able to do it with a flat iron. So yeah, neither one of these methods really cause any extra damage for my client. I know sometimes you guys see that and you're like, okay, well, you're technically doing more than one pass at the root, but my client's hair is fully protected, so she's not going to experience any type of heat damage for this. Y'all, I to my knowledge, have never given a client heat damage, which is honestly a flex. And I say that because I've had clients go somewhere else one time and come back with heat damage. So I'm really, really proud that I haven't done that to a client yet, because I feel like that's everybody's biggest fear, right? They're like, if I straighten my hair one time, it's not going to recurl. And it really will if you follow the proper steps. You make sure their hair is properly moisturized and protected before applying the heats. So in a minute, I'm going to let you guys see my trim as soon as I'm done with this section of my client's hair. For my client today, we're just going to be doing a light dusting of her ends because her hair is actually really, really healthy, which is amazing. A lot of my clients, I do have to typically cut about an inch or more. So it's amazing and refreshing to have a client come in and her ends are super healthy. Now, trims are also included in my service price for silk presses because there is nothing more that frustrates me as a stylist when I do a bomb silk press and my client has like super scraggly or dead ends and they don't want me to cut it. I do always do what feels most comfortable for my client, but I have to be honest, like as a stylist, it just really like kills me because it's like I do this bomb beautiful work and like it doesn't have as much movement or it just doesn't look good or your ends puff back up because you don't want to trim. So I highly, highly suggest a trim. It doesn't mean that you have to take off 5 or 7 inches or necessarily all the damage that you guys have, but guys, listen, it is not helping or benefiting your hair to keep those dead ends on. They're just going to keep creeping back up and up and up, and eventually like your hair's just not going to be healthy at all. So if you are someone who hates getting your hair trimmed, just remember the more often that you get them, the less that your stylist will have to take off. So please take care of your hair and get your hair trimmed. So typically on my clients, I would do square layering. For her, like I said, all she really needed was a light dusting of her ends. I choose to do square layering because typically my clients have a lot of damage in the middle of their hair and it's kind of high up. It's not like at the ends, and that's usually from wearing ponytails or pulling their hair up a lot, or like honestly we just don't show the middle of our head as much love as we should because it's just thicker, and y'all, we be caring about what the outside or the edges look like, right? So I always ask them before I do square layering because obviously not everyone wants layers, but that is the best way for me to tackle all of the damage that they have when they have split ends that have traveled upward. So in this clip, I know you guys can't see what I'm doing because I'm kind of blocking the camera, but you guys can kind of see in the mirror. I took a little bit of Renutrients wax and I applied that to where my client's part is. That just helps it to lay a little bit more flat, and sometimes you do get like a little bit of static flyaways up there, so I just want to make sure that I lay that down. So here is my client's finished look. I am going to do a spin on her. She is younger, y'all, so she did not want her hair bumped, feathered, curled, no, none of that, and that's fine. A lot of my younger clients, they like it to just lay down flat. And I'm like, you know, in 10 years, you're going to be asking me for that bump, for that feather, so it's all good. But I love my client Liv. Her hair looks amazing and absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. And as always, guys, I will catch you guys in my next video. What you mean you don't know Pana? She's dope. What you mean? What you mean? What you mean? What you mean?